This ain't a surprise, but I wanted to open up today's show by talking about how much of a winner Montreal has been in this free agency draft period that we have all had the pleasure of witnessing. Because the Habs are in a very, very good spot after the moves that they have made and the names they have acquired. They're in a position where some folks would argue the Habs have the best defense core in the NHL? Okay, no, sorry, Pierre Maguire, I'm not going to go out there and indulge in that thought process just yet. I would like to see it in action first, before making any definite conclusions. That talking point, I think, does have some meat on the bone, but again, I want to see it in action first. We also, of course, have the Vancouver Canucks D-Corps, which I will say is one of the top D-Corps in the league, and I'm not saying that just because I'm a biased Canucks fan, which, believe me, I am. But I think there very much is a lot to like out of that D-Corps in particular. Montreal's, though, is so good. Especially with the addition of Noah Dobson, man. That is absolutely fantastic. And then the trade of Mailloux for Zach Bolduc. What an acquisition. A fantastic trade for Montreal. I know there were some people going out there and saying, oh, well, just you wait until Logan Mailloux becomes a top pairing right-handed D who can score a bunch of points and Zach Bolduc doesn't become anything more than just sort of a 20-goal guy, and everybody's going to say this is Sergachev Drouin 2.0. Hold your horses, folks. I don't think it's really fair to go out there and judge any of these guys in extreme positives or negatives. Saying that Logan Mailloux is guaranteed to being the next Sergachev and that Bolduc is going to be the next Drouin, I think it's unfair to both of the players here, right? So all we can do is evaluate based off of what we have seen so far. And what we have seen so far out of both of these guys is that Zach Bolduc is a really strong hockey player who's coming off of a stellar rookie year where he was a physical specimen and he could score points. Meanwhile, Logan Mailloux could not crack the Montreal Canadiens. That's all we have. Plain and simple. But taking a look at the rest of the Canadiens and just the overall assessment of their team, I wanted to refer to an article posted on The Athletic that goes over NHL free agency winners and losers. The Panthers do it again. It's a good day for defensemen and a bad day for the Kings. You can already see that this was posted onto the R-Habs subreddit by Mr. Edmo, who went out there and screenshotted the Montreal part of the article, which is why I feel comfortable going out there and putting it on a video because it was already posted onto Reddit. But yeah, good day for defensemen. Ay. Gavrikov, K'Andre Miller, Dumoulin, CC. Lots of money to go around for D-men, but this is what the write-up on this Athletic piece says about Montreal. The Habs have taken a lower-key approach throughout this retooling process. Instead of taking big swings, management prioritized drafting and developing a core, and finding reclamation projects for support. But after last year's post-Four Nations turnaround and push to the playoffs, the Canadiens are making moves. Sometimes a playoff appearance can give a team the wrong idea about its trajectory. It can inspire big-name free agent signings to accelerate the process, instead of finding players whose timelines actually align with the team's. That isn't the case in Montreal. The Canadiens have taken two measured swings, Noah Dobson and Zach Bolduc. The team is in the right position to start flipping future assets for players that will help them now and in the long run. Dobson is exactly that, a difference maker from the back end, and Bolduc is a savvy addition to the middle six. He really found his footing in the Blues' post-Four Nations run, with 13 goals and 18 points in 26 games. Montreal is judged a winner here. Now, that's not even it, because the Canadiens did some other things yesterday on day one. They had signed some other dudes. They signed Alex Belzile, whom they are bringing back, of course, from Laval Rockets past. They had signed Capo Kakinen. They had signed Sammy Blais. I was pretty critical of Blais in the video that we made yesterday, talking about the Canadiens' new signees, because I talked about how Blais was kind of not really well conditioned, and that was sort of the problem that the Vancouver Canucks had with Blais and his profile, was that he wasn't really the best fitness-wise, and they wanted him to be more well-conditioned in order to give him a role on their hockey teams, both in the NHL and in the AHL. But aside from my criticism on Sammy Blais, because that was talked about on Vancouver radio last week, there was another piece posted onto the RHAB subreddit, which is a comment or two made by Thomas Drance on Sammy Blais. This was posted by Coyote Wiley 1973. The question on this Athletic article from Thomas Drance: do you see Sammy Blais getting a shot next year for the big club? He is the Tom Wilson of the AHL. Now, of course, Thomas Drance writes from the perspective of the Vancouver beat, so this question is being directed to him in a Vancouver capacity. Drance said, "I honestly hope so. In my view, the Canucks should be actively looking to lean on these Calder Cup champs at the NHL level next year, and that includes Blais, who has brought a level of size and grit and gamesmanship that Vancouver lacks. I wouldn't go so far as to say the Canucks should leave a spot for him in their NHL lineup while building out their depth chart this summer, but rewarding him for what he had accomplished this season and throughout the playoffs with an NHL-level deal seems warranted. I think he's got real game and can probably help out Vancouver in a fourth-line role." Finally, we get to Blais, who would have to be a late-career breakout to re-establish himself as more than a depth option at the NHL level. We see these types of breakouts now and then. New Jersey Devils forward Stefan Noesen is a recent example, but they are rarer. So, Montreal, going out there and signing guys that Vancouver beat reporters are saying, yeah, they could probably challenge for a fourth-line spot. They bring snarl, they bring energy, they bring physicality, they bring point scoring. They bring maybe less than ideal conditioning, but that's just one talking point talked about by Dollywall and Halford and Bruff last week. Ultimately, Blais is a good addition, and I think he will mesh well in the Laval Rocket, or if he gets a call-up here and there with the Montreal Canadiens. Having Bolduc, Blais together, that would be fantastic. So difficult to play against and so rough for other teams who are looking to gain an upper hand on the Habs. But of course, there are still other guys, younger prospects that are looking to make an impact, that are potentially looking to graduate from either the Laval Rocket or elsewhere in their prospect development careers. I mean, Owen Beck is going to probably have a chance to make the team. I'm thinking of guys like Sean Farrell, Florian Jacquet, Josh Waugh still exists as a Canadiens guy. There are a number of players here that can make things interesting and can make things more competitive for the Habs. But ultimately, I think the biggest thing that we can look forward to, no matter who is on the team or not, is the fact that the Habs are so much better than last year. And Kent Hughes has done wonders over the past week. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about how the Montreal Canadiens are total winners in this year's off-season starting period that we're just going through right now. What are you expecting the Canadiens to do going forward? What do you think about the moves made so far? Let me know in the comments section all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.